Today is October 21st, and the time is 7:15, and this is the Littleton ZBA meeting. We have one case in front of us this evening, and it is case number, bear with me. Oh, the right document, sorry. Case number 956A, petitioner Marion Bartholomax seeks a variance pursuant to section 173-192 for intensity of use schedule to replace a shed at 5 Forest Road. And is Marion there? Mimi.
Yes.
Mimi.
I'm Mimi.
Mimi. Hi, Mimi.
Marion's my official name.
Okay. Mimi, would you like to present for us?
Yes, I should share my screen. Bear with me. I'm not like a real Zoom expert. Oh boy.
Mimi, what are you trying to share?
I'm trying to share my desktop. The plot map. Do you have the packet? Do you have the plot
I have
plan? I could speak to it. I could speak to it.
I have the package. Let me open it up.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Just 1 second here. I have to go to Janet's email.
I don't get that much Zoom experience as a nurse, so I apologize.
All right. Now that I have it up, let me go to the Zoom, share the screen. Okay. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay, this is your application.
Yes.
And I'll scroll right through this part.
Okay.
And there's your letter, but you can tell us about that. I don't know what I'm looking at here.
That's the shed. That's a floor plan.
The floor plan of the shed.
Yeah.
Okay. There's your deed record.
I did have some pictures of the original shed that came with the house.
Okay.
I thought might be helpful. That is the
Plot plan of your house.
that's a close-up of the plot. It's sideways. I don't would be
sheds on there.
Yes, the old shed. I don't know if you can see my pointer.
No, you can't, but is this, am I circling the old shed?
Yes. So the shed that was in the corner of our property, and just below the shed, where it's 198.17, that is the septic system. And below that, to the right of brick patio, is a tree. Then the lower patio is on the bottom. And you can see our house, number 5. You know, and this is in regards to where else we could put it. That's the major problem when there's literally no place to put this shed. So we have the septic here. It's a very, very narrow strip here along the back of our house. And then on the front of the house, the far left of this is wetlands, and 198.01 is essentially the entire front of our house, which is a raised leach field.
Now, there's X's along the back of this plot plan. Can you tell us what that is?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I suspect because I was told today that our fence along the back here on the right side is inside our property line. And it looks like it jogs out at the top where it says 192.98. So there's a bit of fence in the property line and then it jogs out. So maybe that's a fence. I'm assuming that's a fence.
As a real estate broker, I can tell you usually that would be how they would mark a fence.
Okay, thank you.
So basically what your plot plan is showing is that that fence, which I saw today when I visited the property, as well in the back, as well within your property line.
I think Ed did actual measurements, so he might be able to be better to speak to that. But when we bought the house, this was the plot plan, and
Fence was already up.
the fence was up and it was contained within our yard.
It looks on the left
So-
side like the fence goes on the other property.
It does from this, and it does if you look, even though the fence, what's in front of the fence, which is like a little garden area, is on our yard, it is recessed a bit. And I always kind of wondered why. It came that way, so.
If I may, Madam Chair.
Oh, the chair recognizes Ed Mullins.
Thank you. Yeah, so I went out to the site today. I met Mimi. I brought with me a laser measure, my Hilti laser measure. And we did a property line. If you look on the house number 5, the top left corner, it says 18 feet 1 inch to the property line. We determined that measurement, and then we went back to the corner. We did the 120-foot measurement along the fence. And I can assure you that the shed is within her bounds. I can also tell you that there is an encroachment issue with that fence, just like it shows on this plot plan, that it does encroach on the abutting property. In my discussion with Mimi, I told her that, at some point she would need to rectify that. And she informed me that they were looking to get a fence installed on the upper right corner of the house to tie to the old fence. And they will bring the old fence into the bounds of the property.
Okay.
So
Mimi,
we would
when did you buy
unrecess.
Property. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat your question?
I apologize. I should let you finish presenting
Oh,
first.
sorry. I was just going to reiterate that we were going to basically unrecess the fence, just draw it straight across. That's all. Go ahead.
I would take questions from the board. Mark, Eli,
Yeah, I just have a couple of questions. Well, basically one. Is the shed going to have any kind of foundation, or will it just be resting on, let's say, cinder blocks on the ground?
It's cinder block. It's on the exact same site prep that the original shed was. But this one is a better quality shed. It's hopefully won't fall apart like the other one. And I think it's on cinder blocks. Yes. My husband verified it's cinder blocks.
Just a follow-up question to that for Ed. Does that qualify it as being a structure, or basically it could easily be moved? So does that really make it a structure that has to comply with zoning laws, or is it any different than a pile of wood or a bunch of pallets or something? I didn't get a chance to look at the zoning regulations, but I was wondering what, if it can be easily moved, whether it even qualifies as a structure that needs improvement.
On wheels.
my understanding, if it's more than 4 feet tall, it does.
So a fence over 6 feet requires a zoning permit. A shed, in the town of Littleton, the zoning requires that you get a building permit for a shed, not because it's a structure under the building code, but it's determined to be a structure within our zoning bylaws.
So even though it's
Jonathan?
not essentially permanent, it still qualifies, you're saying?
Correct. A chicken coop would be the same thing. It's for the quality of life with your abutters.
Okay.
Mimi, I should point out one other thing. There are only 4 members of the zoning ZBA here this evening. Usually there's a 5-member board, and we do have alternates, but none of our alternates have come this evening. You have the right to wait for a full board if you'd prefer, and reschedule.
To be honest with you, I know it's crazy because you deal with this all the time. And this probably has been the most stressful thing I've ever dealt with. And I'm a nurse and I worked at Mass General. during COVID. So trust me, I don't want to prolong this anymore. I'd rather do a vote. If it weren't to go my way, I would hope there would be a way to, I don't know, appeal it maybe with a full board, but I'd rather just get this over with because I have a sick mom. It's just been really stressful and I need to get some stress off my plate. Hope you understand.
I certainly understand. And don't be too stressed out. We're just Littleton residents also who are volunteering. So, you know, we're
It's a
here.
very daunting process when you're not used to this. This is a first for me. It's my first home. So our first home. I'm sorry, I keep saying.
I do have another question. How far will it be from the property line? I believe the setbacks are supposed to be 15 feet?
10 and 10.
Yeah, okay. So what will it be?
I went up today to measure, and it will be from the property line 5 feet, more than 5 feet from the rear side, which looking at it from this profile would be to the right. And then the side profile, it's about 2 feet to that fence.
I was out there the other day. The shed's already there, right?
Correct. And I promised Mimi I would fall on my sword on her behalf. She had a delivery date from Reed's Ferry, that if she was to miss the date, she would miss delivery and be out 6 months. Where the shed is small enough, and she actually has a contractor on site now that, you know, should she not have it go her way, we would work with her to get it within the bounds. But she has a very small yard, and I figured we would work to resolve it if she didn't get the vote that she wanted. But
We just to add, we have no basement in our house, just like a duck walk, crawl space. We have no attic we can use. And we've been without a garage since our shed fell. And it's been a real hardship on us. And going into the winter we just couldn't. So it was a calculated risk for us putting it up because we don't know what we're going to do. We don't have a garage that we can put our cars in out of the snow. So,
John or Eli, do you have any questions?
No, I think, like I said, the only thing that concerned me is the fact that, you know, we're asking for permission to replace the shed with a new one, and it's already there. So
I know, I saw it. I saw it today too.
But other than that, I mean, I agree. You know, even with just the naked eye looking at the raised septic field, that it was obvious the shed was just inside the property line. There is nobody anywhere nearby that this, even sitting right on the edge of the line, no one's going to really care. I had no major issue with it. I would note that we did get a letter from the abutter, and just so you know, he's interested. Yeah, he's interested in selling his property. So
he has approached me. He's approached me several times about selling the property. I told him I was not interested. I got a couple more notifications asking me if I want to buy the property. And I assume this is probably another attempt to get me to buy the property, but we're not going to buy the property.
We don't speculate like that.
I know I can though, because I can.
Eli, did you have any questions before we close the hearing?
My questions were just the setback and the fence issue that was in that letter, so they've all been addressed. Thank you very much.
Okay, then let's read the letters into record. I can share them on my screen. Would anyone feel like reading out loud?
I can. Is this a letter that I wrote?
No, Mimi, you're not allowed to. In fact, Mimi, you have to be quiet now.
Okay, I'll shut up.
No, it's not a question of shutting up, dear. It's
Sorry. Yeah, I know.
give me a second. I've just got to pull up the right thing. You don't need to be looking at my emails. So let me pull up the letters. John, do you feel like reading? Anyone feel like reading?
I'll read the first one anyway. It's
All right.
the letter from
Oh, sorry.
from the abutter. To dear Mrs. Fairchild, I received the postcard informing me of the above cited case that will be heard by the ZBA next week on the 25th, which is obviously not correct since today's 21st. Your response to my telephone call today about this case is very much appreciated. The applicant appears to have a fine home and understandably wishes to have an existing shed upgraded. The budding undeveloped property which I own are identified as parcels ID U17-200-0. And it goes on to talk about his quitclaim deed. Since that time, I've sold all my real estate in Massachusetts except for the subject lots on Forest Road. He said he attempted to sell the Forest Road property and at one time to donate to the Littleton Conservation Commission. The commission refused the donation to maintain the shed likely existed on my property. I would like to use this opportunity to alert the ZBA of the possibility of encroachment and request that they determine from boundaries on the applicant's submission of the property is not on my property. If there's an encroachment, the applicant should be required to move the existing shed from my property. They are, of course, welcome to purchase my lots. No longer any persons within my family having interest on the existing lots or abutting undeveloped parcels. Signed, Thomas Stevens.
Okay, and then he says,
He then shows some information from Amy Green, who's the Conservation Trust. And they said they decided not to take it because they thought the shed was on his property. I think both my own opinion, having seen what Ed did today, plus looking at the drawing that was shown from the septic system design, that the shed is, definitely just inside the property line.
okay. And then there is a letter from Amy Green. Go pull that one up. Sorry.
Nice.
Oh, no, not that one. Sorry.
Welcome, Jerry.
From Amy Green. Keith, the Concom has reviewed this parcel and given that it will help start to connect conservation and town parcels, see attached, and that it does drain directly to Long Lake. They would like to accept the donation. However, as can be seen somewhat from in the attached photos, the abutting property has encroached on the subject parcel with lawn, brush, and some solid waste, i.e. cinder blocks, an old bed frame, and with some landscape features, as a wall with stockade fence, planted arborvitae. So the question is, can they accept the parcel with some sort of allowed easement or use by the abutter for the lawn landscape feature? The commission and abutter would presumably work together to get rid of the brush pile. I assume this might be a question for town council, as it might be something that needs to be in the deed. And that letter was written in 2017. There are pictures that clearly exist before the stockade wall, and it looks like, and of course, and I believe Mimi just bought the house a year or two ago. And then, so that all it for, Janet, is that it for letters? Or is there one more?
That's all. There's just emails from the other department heads saying that they didn't have any comments.
Okay, all right. So I take a motion to close the hearing.
I so move,
A second?
John.
Can I ask a question though? We definitely do not dump garbage there. It says there's a bed frame there. We have never,
It's saying that there was
ever.
debris there. How long have you owned the property, Mimi?
2013, but we would never dump anything like that, especially back there. Like a bed frame. It was pretty,
Probably those neighbors, because they butt the same property.
okay, because it looked pretty, for lack of a better word, grody when we moved in. I just wanted that crystal clear because I don't want anybody to have the impression that we're putting like stuff from our, like a bed frame. Yeah, that's just, okay. I wanted to be crystal clear.
Okay, thank you.
And maybe it's
I have a
moved.
motion- I have a motion to close the hearing from John. Do I have a second?
I'll second that. Mark Saucier.
Okay, Thank you. All those in favor?
John Sewell, aye.
Mark Saucier, aye.
Eli
Eli.
Constantino, aye.
And Cheryl, aye. Okay, we're now open for discussion. Anyone want to say anything to start off?
So I have no problem with, the shed itself. I think the only thing we should, as part of our approval process, should, make it a requirement that she correct the issue with the fence on the wrong side of the line. Just to clean
That's
up.
not, I don't think that's our purview. I do believe it is her intention to. You're suggesting we put language in the
I don't know, it
permit?
just seemed to me that if we're giving her permission to have a fence that's too close to the line, she should correct stuff that, that in the general area. And
I
I mean,
I actually don't have a problem with that at all. Does anyone else? I think we can do that. Can we do that, Janet? I think we can.
No.
Yeah,
Ed says no.
I'll defer to Mr. Mullen.
We can't require that they fix the existing encroachment?
I'm the zoning enforcement officer. I can require it, and we've discussed it today. It will be taken care of.
it's all
Okay,
about-
okay. The board, there's certainly precedent for granting variances for these non-conforming lots down that lake area. My big tickle point is I always want people to be able to walk around the building, to be able to maintain it without going on their neighbor's property. To me, you have to have 2 feet around a fence, a house, a shed, anything. You must have at least 2 feet so that you can physically walk around it and paint it or whatever you need to do. And that's and from my walking around this building today and looking at the plot plan, seems pretty evident to me, and Ed agreed, that there is at least 2 feet around this property. Did anyone else want to say anything?
yeah, just a question. You don't have it shown, but earlier, if there is a fence between the shed and the property line, Ed, I don't have it in front of me. What's the regulations for how far from the property line the fence has to be?
right on it.
It can be up to the property line.
Oh, okay. So she
Yeah.
could put a fence on the property line and she'd be good. Okay. I was
Eli,
just gonna say, you don't want to come back getting another variance for the fence.
Yeah.
But okay.
Eli, anything?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay. Then I would accept a motion. Someone would make one. I would think as long as she's a minimum of 2 feet from her property line, I would be comfortable with that. Is that consensus of the board? When
Yes.
do we vote?
Sure.
I guess we need a motion before we can vote on it. But I need one of you to make one.
Find the paperwork. That's not it.
I'm looking for a copy of the application so that we can,
Oh, I can bring that up. Hold on a minute.
oh, okay.
I've got that.
For some reason, it's not coming up from the email attachment.
Hold on a sec. Right here. You're looking for the case number?
Well, the part that shows the case number and what part of the zoning bylaw they're looking for relief from.
Oh, here, that's right on this.
You can go on page 3 or go to the legal notice, Cheryl.
That's what I just did. There you go.
So, you want me to do it? Or?
Is it John or Mark that's giving me a motion?
I'll do it.
Okay, go, John.
Okay, so I move that this board approve the petitioners, Marion Bartholomew Max, I believe. I'm sure I butchered that. request for variance pursuant to section 173, and I can't see it because the person's face is in the way. Hang on a second. 173 dash 192 for intensity use for a shed, a replacement shed at 5 Forest Road. The new shed will maintain at least 2-foot variance, 2-foot clearance from property lines. And to be placed at the same location of the existing, well, I'll call it the existing shed.
Not be more than 2 feet closer.
Not
to
less
the
than 2
property
feet.
line. Okay. I need a second to that motion.
I'll second that. Mark Saucier.
All those in favor, please say your name and say aye.
John Soul, aye.
Mark Saucier, aye.
Eli
Eli.
Constantino, aye.
And Cheryl Kelly Hollinger, aye. All right. Mimi, your request has been granted. You can't be more than 2 feet inside your property, closer to the property line than 2 feet.
All right, thank you all very much. And I just want to make sure my name is spelled M-A-Y if it's a legal document, okay? It's M-A-Y, not M-A-X, okay?
Oh,
with all the May.
All right. Just to, I want all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So thank you very much. We
It looks-
appreciate your time. And I guess I'm going to be getting a permit to you about a fence.
There is an appeal period, Mimi, that you need to be aware of.
Okay,
But Ed can walk you through everything
all
and
right.
take
How
care
long
of it.
is the appeal period?
Yes.
I'm
20.
assuming that would be for the abutter, correct?
Correct.
we have
21.
20 days to appeal it.
How many?
20.
20? Thank you.
Okay, so I would take a motion to close the meeting.
Did we
Oh, wait a
want to
minute, Janet
review the
says no.
minutes?
Janet says no.
Can we
Janice
just
says no.
vote, I'm sorry, can we just vote on July's minutes
I
first?
talked to Sherry about that, and she said they were complicated and requested that we wait for her attendance.
Okay, thank
My
you.
apologies.
That's okay.
Mimi, you're all set. You,
Great, I can leave?
congratulations.
All
It
right,
looks like you're doing a beautiful job of cleaning up your yard and making it pretty.
we're trying, since we can't travel anywhere these days. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate all your consideration and taking a Thursday evening to help me out here. So thank you. And bye, and I'll be in touch, Ed. Thank you for coming by today.
I promised Sherry we would not do minutes without her.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Sounds
Is there any
reasonable.
other administrative business we should be taking care of, Janet?
That's it. Thank you, Cheryl.
Okay, I was gonna say, if you wanted to make a couple of corrections to the minutes for future approval, you
Yeah,
left
you
an
can
E,
s-
you left an E out of my name in the very last paragraph.
Oh, sorry.
And in the middle of the first paragraph, this is purely, I believe, grammatical, although an English teacher may correct me, but when it comes to the sand and salt, it should be sand and salt are required or versus sand and salt is required. Or is not used or something like that in the first paragraph.
Okay.
Just the little things. Other than that, it looked good to me.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I would take a motion to end the meeting. And thank you all for showing up. And hopefully it'll be in person next month.
Not next month. No meeting in November.
Oh, okay.
Let's go for Christmas.
Oh, let's talk about that then. When is the third Thursday of December?
That'd be the 22nd, wouldn't it? Because Christmas is on Sunday, it'd be the third, yeah.
16th? No.
Oh,
Is it third Thursday or fourth Thursday? Fourth Thursday.
Third.
oh, okay, so.
So
that'd
it's
be
the 16th
Okay,
if we get any applications.
16th is okay for me. Rest of you?
Yeah.
But we have traditionally been willing to move the December meeting to accommodate
Do
members.
we know when Hanukkah is this year?
I could look it up.
I am. Let's see.
Are you?
It's over by December 6th.
It's over by
Early this
December
year.
6th, it's early. Okay, so we'll leave it for the 16th for now, and hopefully that will work very well. Would someone make a motion to close the meeting?
I make a motion, we close the meeting. Mark Saucier.
I second Eli Constantino.
Thank you. All in favor? John?
Aye.
Mark?
Mark Saucier, aye.
Eli?
Aye.
And Cheryl Kelly Hollinger. Meeting is officially closed. Thank you.